Hello, everyone, and welcome back to what feels like the first ever episode of the Deep Culture Podcast. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Tanner Blakely.
I'm Dan Nahar. It's good to be back. It's been a
Welcome
while.
back! It's been a
Yeah,
while.
yeah. Super festive, man. The holidays brought me back out. Excited to be back. Excited to be yapping. So here I am.
I am 2017 NFFL champion and soon to be 2020 NFFL champion. So I just want to speak that into existence. So, but I'm Michael. So there you go.
You never know.
Third highest point total in that league. Dead last.
Dead last.
So on
Fourth highest.
Fourth
And
highest or third?
I was fourth highest. Me. You were third. So you had more points than me.
Yeah.
And I'm in the championship. So I'm sorry, Danny.
That's all right.
So on today's episode, we're basically just talking about collecting, like what drove us to collect, what got us into collecting, what we collect, some of our biggest pickups, personal favorite pickups, things like that. So as you can see, video listeners or watchers will see I have a Banjo-Tooie and a Final Fantasy VII. Those are actually, this one's probably one of my best pickups, Final Fantasy VII. That game retails for over $20 if you find a decent copy. Sometimes more than that, usually more than that. But I found it at the last old school con that we had here in town. And I whittled them down to like $12. The case is kind of beat up. It's got some cracks in it, but the discs are great. Haven't touched it yet. Haven't played it. Plan on playing it, but that's collecting in a nutshell.
Yeah, no doubt. I think the only thing I've got some things from Danny's store plug. So for birthdays.
I do too. In its room.
Here, let me grab it. So like this little number. So like, oh, you can't see it. Hold on, let me turn my back off. Dang it.
Oh, it's nice. Yeah, I like that.
Ooh, I did that. So my holiday edition Darth Vader that I got from Comics and Kicks. Still pretty much on the Star Wars kick. Started into the Assassin's Creed figure collecting, which is terrible because everything's like $200.
Yeah.
But other than that, I've been holding steady with Star Wars.
So now that you mentioned the Assassin's Creed, I know I have Connor as a Native American, not in his Assassin's gear, but just in his Native American gear in shop. It's loose though, but it's a super sick looking. He has the wolf skin and the tomahawks and stuff like that. Super cool figure. I know I have it in shop somewhere.
Yeah. Oh crap. Okay. If you are also an Assassin's Creed collector, you did not hear that. So.
Like it from
don't go to the store.
Yeah.
Collecting for me, man, I've been super fortunate. So I collected my whole life. When I opened Comics and Kicks, man, a floodgate of luck happened. I've been really fortunate to find a lot of first appearances. So, first Harley Quinn, first Venom, first Deathstroke, first Black Suit, first Teen Titans, first Jason Todd Killer Croc. Comics I've been able to do a good bit with, and then I just get fortunate with finding some of the stuff I enjoyed as a kid. So I had that opportunity to buy a collection from a gentleman in DC. I got basically everything I wanted from a Star Wars aspect, including the 6-foot Darth Maul you'll see in the store to that little Yoda. And then I was just happy and lucky to keep all my Pokemon stuff as a kid, man, and it's just grown up with me, and I have that now. One of my favorite pickup stories, though, and it's not a politically correct term, but this is what they used to call this type of comic it's a Mighty Midget comic. And it is Captain Marvel Shazam before Marvel got the property back, and it was sold as a war bond during, I want to say, World War II. And I found that in Ritchie County at an antique store for like $10, $15. And it's in the condition, it's upwards of a grand or so in value. So super pumped about trying to think of one more big find. Oh yeah, I got the original Black Series Darth. Carry you guys around. I redid the basement.
Yeah, comic six cribs.
Got the original. Whereas Black Series Darth Maul, Greedo, and Slave Princess Leia at JediCon, and I got them all for dirt cheap, less than 100 for all three of the original Black Series. So those are the ones that really. Oh no, crap! Yeah, look at that. So these guys came in that DC collection on card. Luke Skywalker, Return of the Jedi, and then Princess Leia on card. And I have those up at the top. Those guys came in that DC collection. But yeah, man, I love the hunt. I love collecting a little bit of everything. That's where I am in life right now. I just collect a lot of stuff with COVID, hide inside, redo my basement.
So let's quickly transition into. I mean, we know, viewers and listeners. Danny owns Comics and Kicks. That is like his baby, his like pride and joy. I'm assuming, other than your kids.
What?
Yeah, other than my literal baby.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Sorry, kid.
What's it like to like physically own a shop where like you specialize in all of this?
It's amazing, man. I think so many people make it something to where they're miserable about it. I really love Comics and Kicks because it's everything that I do as a collector. It's everything that I want it to be. And, this might sound selfish, and I know like the customer's always right, but I never made it a store for somebody else. I always made it a store for what I enjoy. And it just so happens what I enjoy seems to be what a lot of people also share in that enthusiasm. I think it shows in the store too. I have very limited hours working with my family, and then working my other job as Parks and Rec director for Pleasant County. But it's amazing, man. It's got me closer to my friends like you guys. It's always nice for us to go mess around down there. We shot some of the original stuff down at the Comics and Kicks. So I mean, it's cool. And then you get to meet customers that become regulars, that become friends. And then you get to see collections and put yourself in situations that, you never thought you'd be in. Like Storage Wars. I bought the first Harley Quinn comic from a dude that bought a storage locker in Vienna, and it was just top to bottom this incredible collection. I had an opportunity to go through that collection. I went to Sistersville, and there was a dude in Sistersville that lived on the top level of Masonic building, an old Masonic building. But the dude had troves of like collectibles, and it was just cool to go through that. And then, as you guys know, I've had the opportunity, and nothing's come of it yet, but we've been interviewed for possibility of shows and doing different things like that. It's huge, man, and it's got me the ability to buy my own shop, so I own the building. I'm possibly looking into expanding it again, and it's just fun, man. And you make it what you want out of it, and you don't stress about the rest. And I think success has happened for that, and I love it, man. I wouldn't change it for the world.
You were like,
can we talk about the TV interview for a second?
Yeah, absolutely.
That was, I still sometimes am just baffled at how all of that happened, and just the timing of it.
Yeah.
The timing of it as well. I mean, I remember, what was it, like February?
Yeah.
We got because you were in contact with the people a little bit before, but then you told us, and we were just like, I remember just searching, are these real people?
Yeah.
Is this a real corporation? Whatever it may be. And then after all of that, still just sitting down, and the first thing the guy's doing when we start the interview, he was eating like a bowl of cereal or something. I mean,
yeah.
Just some New York dude, yeah.
So even
That's
just
fine while I eat while I'm interviewing you for professional endeavors.
I will say it got me out of moving. My father-in-law, and no one believed me the story. We were moving some of his stuff out of his house.
Yeah.
And I had to leave, and I'm just like, hey guys, I gotta go. And of course they're like, where are you going? We still got work to do. And I'm like, I got a TV interview right now. And they're all just like,
pilot,
they're all like, what? And so it's still surreal, the timing of it, and COVID and all that, people sometimes ask me like how it went. I'm just like, well, COVID happened, so if it was real, I don't know what it is now. So,
and I mean, I still hold on hope for that. Like, I remember, so before I got all three of us in the second part of the interview, I did a process with a lady who I want to say she was actually might not have been in L, or might not have been in New York. I think she was actually in LA. So they were doing the same idea for the concept of the show, basically, literally just like comic book men, but you do more like hunting and like crap. I forgot what's the dude. What are the dudes? Pickers, American Pickers.
Yeah.
So like with comic books. So that idea got passed on by a network. And then it wasn't dead, though, because that company still wanted to do it. So then it got passed on to that company in New York. And I think they wanted to do something instead of like a network show. They wanted to do more of like a particular streaming service is what they were shooting for. We did that interview, man. I feel like we killed it. We got called back, interviewed. We edited stuff together. They were asking for like the pictures of like kids collecting stuff. And I'm like, oh, it's happening. And then boom, 2020 COVID just let's see New York. Honest to God, like, I don't know what's going to come out of that, but if nothing comes out of that, let's just toss our own money in that and just like, let's just do the damn thing. I don't know what's going on.
YouTube is free, man. Free.
Yeah, seriously, legit. This is, I mean, it's.
I wanted to do that this summer. Like, I if COVID, wasn't a thing, I really wanted to like film us going to like yard sales and conventions and like getting pickups and like going through the negotiation process and bartering and film like B-roll of us like afterwards and we're all just chilling, like, hey, how did you feel about this pickup? And there's a camera here and it's like professional with like the whole get up, but COVID.
I had 2 or 3 regulars at the store agree to letting us go through their collections, which that's another thing, man. Like, if we ever get the opportunity, which, knock on wood, COVID's done by 8/21, I don't know, depending on how the vaccine disbursement goes. People don't realize how much is just even in our little area. You know what I mean? Like, if you're listening to this or you're watching this and you're from West Virginia and you're from, Northwestern.
Don't tell them anything. This is our spot. This is our spot. Don't let them know.
I challenge you. I own this area. So you come on down here.
That's a good point.
Seriously, it's such a honey hole, man. A honeywell, whatever the old saying is. Like, there's so much good stuff here. And it surprises me every time some dude brings in a collection, and like it could be like a modern collection of 500 Funko, or it could be like the craziest vintage Star Wars collection I've ever seen, or even stuff I'm not really into, like G.I. Joe in this area, man. If I was a big G.I. Joe guy, I'd be living the dream right now. But like that, and then vintage games, there's tons of vintage game dudes in this area. They have some really great stuff. So like, let's get out there, man. Let's get this vaccine. Let's take this. Let's get healthy. Let's get back out there.
I was gonna say, like, as soon as we all get like the vaccine, like, I would love to start filming in person again, and just stupid.
You know what? I know we're filming this, and when people are listening, I'm gonna walk you guys around this piece. So redid the. Floors, but I also put a Halloween themed bar in the basement.
Ooh.
So it is. I know you can't see. Turned off, but some of my dad's artwork, but then like I literally went to Michael's, man, and I just had a field day. So like I did that. That's gonna really ruin the audio for a couple seconds because it doesn't shut off. And then like, this is a good question for you guys before I show it. Outside of your typical collectibles in the nerd realm, the geeky realm, the pop culture, what is something else you collect? So not DC Comics, not Marvel, not video games. What's something you collect? Is it tiny spoons? Is it little teapots? What is something you collect?
I mean,
I don't really collect anything other than, not that I could think of anyway.
Did you collect rocks as a kid, like the polished stones?
No, the only one I have is the one you made me choose on a field trip.
There you go. Like that. Yeah. See, everyone has one of those. I guarantee everybody in the world has at least one polished stone in their house somewhere. You don't have a polished stone in there, Tanner? I guarantee if I go over to the house right now, I'll find a polished stone somewhere.
I mean, you'll probably find one somewhere, but I don't know if it's in this room.
Anything out for you, Tanner? Anything out of the normal pop culture realm we normally delve into?
Other than like retro video games, I don't really think so. Maybe like DVDs or Blu-ray.
Yeah, no, that counts. Yeah, I think so.
Like I'll pick those up at flea markets or yard sales if I see one that I will like to have in my collection or might watch at some point. Like I have Skyfall over here.
Yeah.
I did find. Oh, maybe I do have one. I have a lot of the like Timothy Zahn Star Wars books. I found those at a Goodwill.
Those are nice.
Gosh, Harry Potter books. I found Cormac McCarthy's The Road, which is a great book. Where did I find them? It was a Goodwill in Cambridge for like 50 cents. I was like, yes, I'm picking this book up. I don't know why. I picked up.
How much better that collection would be?
Yeah, I picked up Harry Potter and the Cursed Child at a yard sale for $0.25 because it had water damage.
Well, yeah.
Like, yeah, give me all that.
See, you can't beat that. And the Timothy Zahn stuff, or Zane, however he pronounces his last, that's so much more relevant now with what they're doing in the entire Star Wars universe than it was pre-Disney purchasing, and then right as they purchased, erased it, and did all the new, canon.
I want to say I have the Grand Admiral Thrawn book. I think I know I have Tales from Jabba's Palace.
Were you there when he was in Parkersburg?
Yeah, I think I have Tales from the Empire. I'd have to look through it, but I've got some good stuff over here.
Here's my new guilty pleasure. It's Lamax Spooky Town stuff, man. It's like little Christmas villages, but it's just Halloween. I literally bought this huge thing, and I've made the little village. I even bought the little grass and everything, and these little characters. I was like, and then I'm like, oh man, these are nice. And I started buying all these like bar-themed Halloween villages, and like I can't get enough. I genuinely asked for some of those for Christmas. So like, that's one of my new things.
Nice.
You could probably put this up at like the dollar store if you really wanted to.
No, those are Lamax, man. Those are Michael's exclusives over there.
That just
like
goes
Michael's.
I don't know about those.
Yeah, dude, you got to get into them, man. They're addicting. Get spooky.
Oh my god. So, what are some of your like personal favorite pickups that you've had?
I can start personal favorite pickups that I've ever had. So I'm really into urban vinyl and designer toys right now. And I follow an artist named Raina Koyano, and she does deconstruction of like walking again. She did some deconstruction of different shoes. So like, your Air Mags, your Jordan 1s, your, or Tanner's Internet. Raina Koyano, Air Mag girl. Bear Bricks, 400% Halloween, one of my big pickups. So I'm going to go through all the little things. That's a one of one Red Panda from Barely Available. He's doing all these bear artworks, and I ended up buying that off of him. I called it the Red Panda. He never gave it a name. B1 Spacers, that little chameleon there. I take him out in UV light, changes pink. That's from, I want to say Hong Kong. I apologize if it's not Hong Kong. They do an awesome job. Chomp, man. If you guys haven't jumped on a Chomp bandwagon, Chomps, this gumball Chomp, really sick. Love it. Then you go down here, Kid Robot mascots, the El Robo Locos, the Luchador style. Big finds for me, dude. And then, if you can see it, my Adventure Time shelf there, man. That giant BMO. And then I talked to Johnny Miller, I want to say is his name. He designed the line of these Fresh to Death Adventure Time minis. And he had a designer's box full of them, which gave me the entire line, including the chases. And I worked out a deal with him. I bought those guys. And, like, everything in that cabinet is, like, my go-to, like, real proud of collection stuff because that's what I'm super into right now. So that's me dominating the airtime for a little bit. I'll pass that.
Danny, you were talking about another thing I weirdly collect. Like, it is pop culture, but I have like some stamps. And then,
see, that's cool.
What year was this? I think 2014. So how many years would that be for Batman? It's like his 75th anniversary or something like that.
Dude, that's super cool. Yeah.
Yeah, but that I have like like his Entertainment Weekly magazines, Game Informers. I also have stuff like uh, Lamar Jackson, his fantasy football stuff. So when I get a bigger man cave and can put stuff more on the wall, I think magazines and comic books will also be there. So
I feel like the biggest thing, dude, and like the stamps are cool and all that. Like the books are cool. The Game Informers are really cool, and I have some Game Informers. I don't think I might have some stamps, but like I don't know how to display a lot of that stuff. You know what I mean? Like it gets to like,
yeah,
how do you get it out? How do you get it displayed outside of buying like individual glass cases? You know what I mean? Like it's
yeah,
tough.
it's crinkly. It gets like crinkly, and you don't want it to like fold too much. And
Yeah.
the stamps, it has like the cardboard behind it, but I haven't done anything. I mean, I'll probably just always have these somewhere. I don't know if they'll ever be displayed, but it's like, hey, I have them. So,
Where'd you get them from? Did you actually get them from a post office
oh
or
yeah, I
like?
went to the post office and I said, hey, I'd like the collector's edition of the Batman stamp, like 75th
In
anniversary
St.
stamps. And
Mary's?
yeah, I just went to the post office and they handed it to me. I was like, okay,
Nice.
like there you go. That was my humble beginnings of collecting. So.
See, that's cool. That's awesome.
Like a lot of my stuff is actually at my mom's. Um, I have the first like real big ticket collector's piece that I got was actually the 25th anniversary Mighty Morphin Power Rangers DVD collection, and it came in this giant like 2 foot tall Red Ranger helmet, and
That's cool. Yeah.
the DVDs are in like these old film canisters, and they slide in the back of the helmet. Oh God, I can't even remember how much I spent on that. I was in college, spent way too much on it. But you know what? I have one of 2,000, and it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Where'd you pick it up at?
That was from Boom Network or something like that. They got the rights to Power Ranger TV shows. Now they're the ones that are doing the comics right now, I think. But yeah, I picked that up. I have like number 1627 or something like that out of 2000. And I got real scared because I messaged the people at Boom and I was like, "Do you guys have any of these left?" Like, I figured they were gone by the time I got like enough money saved up to actually get one. Like, "Oh no, we got like 1,000 left or something." And I was like, "Yes, please count me in for one." So that came, and there's actually a picture I think on my Instagram if you scroll back far enough of me just like ear to ear grinning, looking like a complete dork with this Power Ranger Red Ranger helmet. But like, it's so cool just to look
I
at.
remember that.
Season sets and like collector sets of DVDs, they do some of the coolest like pitches, man, designs, like the Red Ranger helmet. I feel like I remember some of the Walking Dead TV sets, dude, and they were like, I want to say they did like the governor's like fish tank where he was keeping like walker heads and stuff like that. Like those are some of the coolest collector sets you can get, and I remember that specifically the Red Ranger one. I always wanted it, but I don't think I was on like board getting it right when it came out, and then they finally did sell out of it. And now that's a really tough guy to find now. So nice pickup.
Yeah, I was pretty happy about that. I was genuinely shocked when they said they had more. This was like 2 or 3 months after they initially released it. I was like, "There's no way they have them." And sure enough, the guy DMs me back. "Yeah, we got plenty." I was like, "All right."
That's how it works. So you gotta put that extra work in, man.
Yeah.
Emailing companies and stuff.
Let's see. This was in grad school. I got an NES with a bunch of box games for free. I remember my cousin having the NES, and I was like, "Hey, do you still have that?" And he was like, "Yeah, I still got it. Do you want it?" And I was like, "Yes." I was willing to pay like a lot of money for it. He just gave it to me for free. Like it came with a boxed Super Mario 3 on NES, which is one of my like
Nice.
prized possessions for that console. There's a Gold Cart Zelda, but it's in rough shape. One of the corners is broke off, and you can see like the card actually inside. Let's see. I ended up getting a Killer Instinct Super Nintendo box for free. Again, still had the original styrofoam in it, and the instructions manual. That came from a coworker of mine at the hospital when I was working in the ER entrance, screening people. She was like, "So what do you do in your free time?" And I was like, "Well, how much time do you have?" So I just ran through all of my obsessions, like video games, Power Rangers, this, that, and the other. And she was like, come to think of it, I may have like a Nintendo laying around. And I was like, I will take that off your hands. And she looked and she brought in the box like a couple days later. And I was like, this is magnificent. And it still has like the original $100, or not $100, but like the price tag from 90 whatever, whenever it was on retail shelves, and the foam's impeccable. And I just, I need a Killer Instinct black cart to complete that inbox set, because I have a Super Nintendo. But
see, that'd be sick. Yeah,
pretty pumped about that. I'm also really pumped about this Boba Fett.
Black Series.
Boba Fett's awesome. Yeah, Dad bod Boba Fett especially.
He's okay.
Now I will say, in Return of the Jedi, died like a bitch. Just died like a bitch.
Well, no, I won't go into it, but
he gets rocketed into a Sarlacc pit, and he's a Wilhelm scream in that movie.
Yeah.
Regardless,
But
he's alive now. That's all that matters.
Okay, I was about to say, yeah. So technically, he didn't die like a bitch, because he survived.
in old canon, but in new canon, he's awesome.
Okay, another hypothetical. I feel like we're kind of like Impractical Jokers when they're doing like their dinner things. This is the vibe I'm getting from the show. Okay, and I'm very Murr in this situation that he's doing this. When you think of the other two Deep Culture podcast individuals, what collectors, what genre or what character do you think of describing them as a collection? So like I'll do you guys real quick, and then you guys can. So I look at Michael, I think Batman. So Batman, Michael. I look at Tanner, and I have mixed thoughts with Tanner. So like I would want to say like vintage gaming, but I can't like pin down like one game series or franchise that I'm like, okay, Tanner. So then I always go back to like Power Rangers with Tanner. Like instantly I look at Tanner, I think of like, okay, Power Rangers guy. I look at Mike and I'm like, okay, Batman guy. So like, what about you guys for myself and the other coinciding member of Deep Culture podcast?
I mean, I'll start. Tanner he definitely has grown more eclectic, if that's the right word.
No, you're right. You're exactly right. That's exactly how I define myself, as eclectic.
Well, he is now, but he started, I think, as primarily Power Rangers, like 100% everything.
Oh, my Megazord collection. I completely forgot about my Megazord.
Yeah, see, yeah, I mean, like, in high school, after high school, I think his ringtone still might be, the Go-Go Power Rangers. He might have changed it. It's not. He changed it.
Yeah, it's
okay.
No, my text tone is the lightsaber ignition, and then my ringtone is the main menu screen for the Pokemon Red and Blue games.
When he checks out at Comics and Kicks, I hear the lightsaber go off because I always text him receipts.
Yeah. So Tanner definitely started as the Power Rangers. By the way, Go-Go Power Rangers kind of sounds like Kim Possible a little bit, if the tone is, in the right way. But he started as Power Rangers. He's definitely changed it up a little bit. Danny's a little bit tougher, but if I had to say like one like thing with Danny, because obviously he has everything, he has a store. I would say Pokemon is like maybe the thing that started it. I might be wrong, but like whenever I think Pokemon guy, like, okay, Danny, like he started with Pokemon. I'm just assuming that he started with Pokemon, and then there were all these other things that he branched out into. So
that's a good one. I appreciate the Pokemon thought, because like I think like what you're saying, like starting with it, I never got rid of that stuff. So like you go through those phases where you're like, I'm gonna yard sale that or get rid of that. Like That was like the one untouchable. So everything I feel like that's high end in my Pokemon collection isn't stuff that I picked up. It's stuff that I just had as a kid, and I just kept with it. So yeah, I feel you. I feel you.
I had a Batman collection as a kid, and some of the stuff I had as a kid, I still see being sold at places, and I'm just like, why was I a dumb kid? Like, I had all this stuff. Like, what was my problem? And then just for whatever reason, one day, being 15, I'm just like, you know what? Just destroyed my stadium.
So brittle.
Just like, whatever, Batman's cool again, and then I have to get all of this stuff again. I mean, it's insane. I went through that Pokemon thing, but I never was, like, I always liked it, but it wasn't, you know, like my thing. But yeah. Batman, I was always like, I had to have a Batman action figure. And also NASCARs. I used to play with NASCAR all the time too.
Yeah.
Which still have those at my dad's, but I have some back here too. But there's a couple of them. Mark Martin cars.
Dale Earnhardt, man, were like the gold Bass Pro Shops car. I used to like, my brother and I used to always grab those. I feel like I've never watched a NASCAR race in my entire life, but yeah, there you go.
Here's him with his like fist, out the window after he won his Daytona.
Yeah. It's the region we grow up in. You have to have at least one piece of NASCAR memorabilia somewhere throughout your life.
Yeah.
Gosh, yeah, you're right. Race
right? All right, Tanner, you're up.
I think Michael is unanimously the Batman guy.
Yeah.
Like that's his go. Like even more so. Like I love Batman. Like I have somewhere. Yeah, I've got the Batman statue that we found at a Classic Plastic Toy Expo the last time.
Oh, that's a good one.
Gosh. Every time I come into the shop, I always see just the absurd amount of Funkos. Like the entire left side wall is just full of Funkos. And then I look over to the right and it's full of wrestling figures.
Yeah.
You are just synonymously linked with wrestling figures and Funkos to me.
So I normally buy what I like, and I was a big Funko guy. I probably still have 400 plus like in my own collection, but I've really slowed down on like the Funko thing. But like, I just like Funko is just such a it's so in right now, and the license is so everywhere. So like, I just buy it up. And I'll make an announcement here. I know I have the largest Funko collection in the state of West Virginia for stores. And I'm even going to say I'm getting closer to taking out the smaller bordering states like Kentucky. I'm going to go ahead and say I have the biggest in that area. And outside of I'm really close to saying it to Ohio too. Really close to saying it to Ohio. I'm trying to think of Big Fun in Columbus, and they're an incredible store, but I think I have a bigger Funko collection than them. So I'm trying to think of some other. So I'm going to say that I'm Comics, Kicks, and Funko right now down at the shop.
No, just drop the kicks. You don't even sell shoes anymore. It's just Comics and Funkos.
No, so I sell shoes online, but that's just like one of the things, like when I started with Comics and Kicks, I'm like, I love shoes and I love comics, so I'm just going to be Comics and Kicks. It flows, it works great. And then the shoe sales, like I got these great collections. I had some protos in, and not protos. Oh my God. I had a dude that used to work for Nike as a sales rep, and I used to get some really cool shoes from him. But I got these amazing collections. I sold through them, and I can go and buy Funko collections in this area. Probably weekly, I could get another Funko collection. And last week, I probably got 600 new Funko, and not even exaggerating. But when I go to get shoe collections, I can't buy them in that, because everybody now that's a shoe collector or a sneakerhead, that's not it's going to sound like I'm being a douche, but if you're not a true OG with it and you're just trying to flip shoes, yeah. But see, Mike's not trying to flip them. A lot of these shoes now are so mass produced that you can't get a good value for them. So you're already paying $200 for a set of Jordans, and then you can't make a profit on them because they're mass produced. So no one's going to want to pay the $400 to make a good profit on it. But you still have those dudes being like, yeah, I'll sell it to you, Nahar, but I got to get $225 out of it. I'm like, okay, well, no. So
well, this kind of like everything, because we are, obviously you have way more stuff than us, but we're collecting stuff. And one thing I've realized is everything's made to be collected now. So,
Yeah.
Back 60 years ago that, it might have just been like, oh, I bought these and I'm just holding on to them. But things weren't made just to be entirely collected. Now, even like comic books is an example, even like these action figures, which I didn't even find this. One of my friends just randomly found one at Walmart, and I still don't have his tag team partner. So, I mean, they're just made immediately to be collectible, and that's it. So, even me just taking this out of the box, like some people are like,
I was going to say, I'm genuinely shocked you took that out of the box.
Yeah.
I mean, but these are, I'm not going to sell these, that's why I took them out of the box. But that's the thing. They're made just to be collected now. And it's kind of frustrating because, especially with shoes, because shoes is, like he was talking about, $150, $200. So to make any money off that is.
I'll say this too. So like the flipper market and like the scalper market is so crazy. So I know I perpetuated that problem early on to help grow what I have now. And I'll widely accept I used to hunt in retail stores to get those figures and be like, oh, I know that figure. So I'm buying it for 10. I can sell it for 20, 100%. But like the nice thing is now that we're at the part where I can easily say that I don't buy from retail and put it in my store anymore. So I only buy individuals' collections. So I won't wait for the shops. I won't camp out. I won't do all that crap like I did when I first started. And I respect everyone that does it. Hey, whatever, capitalism. But like everything is now, and it's almost like everyone is a collector, and everyone thinks that's the way to make it now. You know what I mean? Like everyone, Yeezys, man. Yeezys were, in like my sneaker world, like when Kanye signed with Adidas after leaving Nike and started doing the Yeezys, back when I was still like working a finish line, I'm like, oh man, like this market, it's getting unbearable. So I started slowing down that. And I'm like, I'll jump into these little bobbleheads. So I started getting into Funko, and then like, man, it's like those same dudes running every circle. They're like, let's go over to Funko. And then like, I remember the designer toy guys, I used to be able to sit there on different like websites, and they'd sit for months, and they're small runs because they're independent artists. You know what I mean? So there's probably 500 to 2,000 made normally in these runs, and they'd sit for months. But then as soon as someone sniffs that they're catching on, they're becoming more mainstream, which is incredible for the artist, but for the actual collector of that series, they start being, bots start swiping them up online, and they start being flipped. And that it's really frustrating. And I think flipping and scalping is at an all-time high now. And like, there's the pros and cons to everything, but being an actual collector of something that's starting from where it was easy to get to where it's miserable to get, it's one of like the most disheartening things in the world. Black series are getting like that now too.
Yeah, they're on the third series of these. I mean, I have not seen one in Walmart whatsoever.
I think that's a Walmart problem.
But that to me, that just sounds like either someone works there or
that's it. 100%.
They have an in, and it's like, all right, I'll take them all, and then immediately see it on eBay. Which, if people are willing to do that and buy that, like, cool. But no, I'll wait like 10 years, and when you're desperate and you have like 10 of them, okay, now and then. Or if it's still like overpriced, then cool. But like. Another example is like the comic books, just the comic book industry too.
Yeah.
The issue where Batman proposes to Catwoman, which came out
recently,
3 years ago, something like that. I missed that issue by like 3 cycles, so it's like 6 weeks. So there were 3 issues that came out, and I went back to pick them all up, and I asked the guy, I'm like, why do you not have this one? I mean, he had 5 of the previous like 10 issues, which I mean, they usually he has a good stock, so it's not like no one was buying it, but he usually has extra. Why don't you have this one? He's like, well, Batman proposes to Catwoman in it. And I was like, what? So I went and bought it online. from someone. It was already like $20, which is 5 times the price at the time. And then when you read through the story, essentially that had nothing to do with anything. And I mean, I get to Batman number 50, the wedding. I'm like, oh, well, got to make sure I get this one. And I got some of the variants too. Nothing. Like you could, so frustrating. I stopped buying comic books. I think I'm like taking a break from that, because out of everything that I was complaining about, like these action figures or whatever, like that's the main gripe I have, but I think that's a Walmart thing. Comic books are just another one. They have like the artwork, which is cool, but it's all just made to, like, that specifically is something that bothers me, like just being collectible now, because some of the stories are just whatever.
100%. Punchline, the new Batman villain. Hey, my fire ran out. Punchline, the new Batman villain.
Oh, that movie. That's the best movie ever. Right? Kidding me?
Oh, that's too distracting. The back. But like that issue, like I didn't even know what was happening. Then like that Punchline issue, I'm like, oh great. And then like I caught myself seeing like a full art version of that. I'm like, I got to get that Punchline issue. And then I'm like, why did I do that? Like, why did I into that? I'm not saying don't support your local stores, because we have some absolutely incredible local comic book stores.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. Like, I love our comic book store. I'm never complaining about him because he's awesome. It's just, it's DC and it's Marvel. Like, that's what that is. Everything is just like, let's get that cool artwork out. Who cares about the story? So,
what shop are you talking about? Is it the one in Marietta I'm thinking about?
Asylum. Oh, I love it.
Okay.
Asylum. Yeah.
Asylum Comics.
That's where I got that 1/100.
Love Asylum. Just want to put that out there.
Yeah. That's where I got that 1/100 DC Reboot cover that I still have.
I'm still. By the way, if I won the Stranger Things raffle, I was going to try to trade Tanner the Stranger Things thing for his reboot. No, he wouldn't do it. Wow. You don't like Stranger Things?
That's one of those where it's getting bagged and boarded immediately, and it's like staying out of the sun. It's mine forever.
Tanner, do you like Stranger Things?
Yeah, I enjoy it.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. I was going to give you that nice thing with the people's signatures on it for another nice thing.
No.
Wow.
No.
I see how it is.
I love Stranger Things.
You know, the guy who actually has like comic books, and then there's Tanner who probably has like 6. You know, he's like, nope,
No.
Gotta keep this one.
No, I have a lot of Batman books. I have, Under the Red Hood, Hush. I even have
not graphic novels, not the big
trades.
Oh, you want single issues? Okay. Yeah, yes. I don't buy singles. Singles are a waste of my time.
See, I used to be like that because I like the whole story, but then you don't get. I don't know. Just going and picking it up is cooler than.
The only single issue comic run that I have in completion is Max Landis's American Alien Superman run, and it's only 6 issues. That's
a random one.
Yeah, it's really weird, but it's awesome. His interpretation of Lex Luthor is like what my mental image and like what my idea of Lex Luthor is as a concept and a person. Like if he was real life, Max Landis put him on a page. Like it's to a T. It is just chef kiss.
I mean, comic book wise, I have a lot of just individual issues. Stuff I pulled up because I thought it was cool because it was like old, like if we went to a convention or something. Like there's some from the 60s. I have one from the 50s, a 50s Superman. It's really beat up though, but I mean, it's just still the only actual run I have, like a complete run other than the recent ones, because those are easier because obviously I'm an adult, but is Nightfall, I'm a grown man. The only one I have is Nightfall, and I feel like that one was so mass produced, like you could find Nightfall anywhere. So
dude, one more gripe to the comic book industry, dude. Like you're saying, DC and Marvel are just failing us, man. And I'm like a big Red Hood guy, but like I even cut my pool list. I even cut like Red Hood and the Outlaws out of my pool list, and I hate it's just everything, man. It's like everything with DC and Marvel, to me, like none of the stories ever hold weight. And I know like you kind of have to take them for like at the moment in time, because obviously they're never going to kill off Spider-Man or Batman, Superman, or if they do, you know they're going to be back eventually because they can't kill off that because they're everlasting, you know, and the individual is bigger than that, like that particular run. But like it's just nothing's resonating with me anymore. I don't have a single DC or Marvel comic on my pull list now, which has shrunk significantly. So you know, I gave they're not small retailers, but then I started doing like, you know, Go Power Rangers, the Power Rangers. I did Animosity. Warlords of Appalachia I was into for a little bit. I did the Adventure Time run with Boom Studios, and now I'm really into this book called Something's Killing the Children. And I don't know if you guys have had a chance to catch up on that. No, dude, it's really good, really, really good.
I've never heard of that. What? Give me a quick synopsis.
So it's okay. So it's everything that you were scared of as a kid is real.
Oh gosh.
There are certain individuals who are capable of seeing it. And then it's like not one of those things like where you cover your head with your blanket and you can get away from whatever that monster is. It's gonna like kill you, and it's gonna kill you in like a graphic way in the comic. But it's so well done, really well written. Animosity is like all the planet's animals become like sentient and they're able to like talk and go through all this. So like DC and Marvel's failures, I feel like have brought me closer to some like more unique books I wouldn't have grabbed earlier because I feel like they have more weight and value to their stories. You know what I mean? Like,
well, like DC and Marvel, like the last thing I'll complain about, it's even like Batman. How many people does Batman need to have as a sidekick? He has, Nightwing. Yeah, Nightwing, Red Robin, Robin. I can't remember the new kid that he has. He has Batman. Huntress, Batgirl, Batwoman. Like how many people? And I mean, he has more. So
yeah.
And then like even Harley Quinn. Like Harley Quinn was introduced to be the Joker's, sidekick, but it's only, been 28 years and she's already like, I'm doing my own thing. Like, I feel like they've already ran their course with Harley Quinn and she's not that old of a character. So, and then there's Punchline, like, cool. Yeah. Okay. And I don't even think they don't even have like a Superman run going on right now that I know of. Like, I feel like they just stopped.
I don't know what's happening with Superman. Dude, nothing bothers me more than the Bat family and how everybody has to be like Dick Grayson, dude. And I love Dick Grayson, dude, but I love Jason Todd. Why make Jason Todd stop killing people? Why make him be shooting kneecaps out? Dude, make Jason Todd an anti-hero, villain-esque. Let him have that relationship. Jason, quit looking for Bruce's affection, man, because it's annoying me. But like the Bat family is overdone, it's too big, and they're always, all of them are constantly involved. You know what I mean?
And Tim Drake, his thing is he's super smart. I'm like, well, Batman's super smart, Nightwing's super smart, Jason's pretty smart. Damian's super, like, okay, his thing is being there.
Being there. They even tried making him Drake not too long ago. Like literally his character was named Drake, his last name was Drake, and I think that it was met with such a poor reception. They're like, okay, let's stop.
Out of all the Robins, I would kill him first. He's the absolute worst. But they need to get the Damian thing was cool for a while, but even that,
Damian's got to go, man.
Dude, all Damian is now is Jason.
Yeah,
it's Jason Todd. Like they're angsty and rebellious and assassin and killer, but like. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not up with the Batman. Like, I don't even think, is he on good terms with Bruce anymore? Did he, like, leave? Does anyone know anymore?
The last I know, spoilers, is Alfred is dead.
Yeah.
And I think Damian blames Bruce for that because Bruce wasn't supposed to, or Bruce blames Damian for that because they weren't supposed to come and save Bruce. And they did, and then Alfred, Bane wasn't messing around, so they killed him and all that stuff. But cool. I don't need 25 Robins. Like, Robin is arguably my least favorite character out of all of Batman. So I don't need that. I don't need 20. Like, I'm exaggerating, but there are so many sidekicks that don't need it.
You're exaggerating, but not really, because like honestly, yeah, dude. I do not I don't know. I don't get it. I think Babs is going back to being Oracle is something I read here recently, which, okay. Like, I
like, what?
dude, like I can't stand Tim Drake's number one. Can't stand the dude. I do not like Batwoman. I don't understand Batwoman. I don't like Batwoman. Like, I don't get Batwoman. I wish they'd give Cassandra Cain some more like focus. If you're going to focus on like a female-led Bat family character, I think she's really strong. Like, has a really cool aspect. But man, I do not like Tim Drake, and I do not like Batwoman one bit.
What, like, to me, Batwoman and Batgirl, it's like, okay, one's older. Like, that woman and girl.
And then, like, Batwoman doesn't want to be associated with Batman ever.
Yeah.
So, like,
why mock his name? Yeah. Why take his name?
Do something else. Like, cool.
Yeah. Come up with your own thing.
Yeah. Bunch of jerks.
Be like Huntress, you know? Be cool.
Yeah, Huntress. You can do some stuff with Huntress. Like, yeah, and I don't know, man. This is turning into a gripe fest, but get your crap together, guys. DC and Marvel and Batman. I don't know what's going on.
This time on Things I Hate.
Yeah.
I was thinking about, do I throw that in tonight? Do I bring up the things we hate section? Or do
We
I
just did it right there.
Yeah, I think that was it, yeah. So that was things we hate.
That was it.
We'll hear.
Yeah.
I did have a jingle.
Throw a little graphic at the bottom. Things we hate.
Things we hate.
Just that one thing, but make sure you put it in plural so we can be grammatically incorrect.
Yeah, really just fire everybody up.
Is there anything else you guys can think of on collecting? Like, anything at all?
Dude, collect what you like. Become eclectic. Become an eclectic collector. You'll find so much joy in that. I think nostalgia is starting to kick in for me too. So like I've been looking into like pulling out my old like Tamagotchis and like Furbies, and like I'm like, well, maybe I'll just do like a 90s kid collection. So like that's like weighing on me. But I love collecting, dude. I'm gonna run out of space in my basement here soon. So but yeah, keep it up. Eclectic collecting.
Everyone, in a way, is a collector. Like, everyone, for the most part, has a passion. I mean, obviously it's not monetary things, but just, you know, like I said before when I was talking about sommeliers on one of the past episodes, I love watching people who are passionate about something talk about their passion. And collecting is awesome, and I love it. There.
Just like I'm about to collect another one of these.
Oh!
This weekend. If I lose, we'll edit that out.
Who do you play?
I will not edit that out.
How dare you? I play Tyler.
Oh.
He's projected to beat me, but oh well. So just need my guys not to suck, and we'll be good.
Good luck out there. I'm glad the NBA's back. I know I'm an NFL guy, but I'm glad the NBA's back.
I'm just glad sports are back, man. Sports
Somewhat.
are awesome.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
Glad sports are back, man, but sad COVID is still here, and I'm sad that West Virginia seems to be getting a strong second wave. Can't imagine why, with all the people not, following those standards, but it's a very bittersweet situation.
And on that note, I think we'll wrap it up for today. Oh my God. Okay. So from all of us here at the Deep Culture Podcast, thank you all for listening and watching. As always, call your mom. She misses you. Happy holidays. This probably won't be up until after Christmas, but happy holidays.
See you next year.
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Oh my God. Where's the stop?